I'm been very busy for the last 2 weeks, but today it's a very important interview with Mr. Wilson Terrero. Wilson, thank you for being here, and thank you for coming and explain the importance of Census 2020.
Thank you for inviting me.
Wilson is Wilson, instead of me saying, tell us what you're the founder and chairman of the Dominican.
That's correct. I'm the founder and chairman of the Dominican Court Association of Yonkers. We've been in operation from 18 years now, and we've been working really hard when it comes to the census, and that's why we're here today.
And Mr. Wilson, it's also a former council majority leader in Yonkers Council. Mr. Wilson, tell us what census is.
Well, basically is, putting it in the simple words, is registration. You have to register to show the United States or America that you actually live here in this country. And that's how we count everyone who is living in this country in order to provide certain amount of funding to different localities and locations and villages and cities. So that's very important for us to register. Otherwise, we lose funding if we don't do that.
Now, some people might be afraid, okay, because of the current atmosphere in this country in regards to ICE. Okay, some people that are undocumented might be afraid. But before we get to why they're afraid, is the census only for people that are legally residents of the United States, or is it for everybody?
Well, the census is for everybody, and if you live in this country, you live in legally because you pay rent, you work, so you take your kids to school, you go to this church, you go to the doctors. So you legally live in this country in that sense. So what the census wants you to do is to basically let them know that you're here and where you are.
And why should I register?
It's important to register because that depends on how much funding, for example, the City of Yonkers we get. It goes from person to person. I think it goes from like $300 every day, something like that, for person that live in that area that the city, the federal government allocate the money, the funding. So you can bring that amount of money to the City of Yonkers, and also most importantly, because you can lose a congressional seat if you don't have enough people or enough people register in those areas. Like the last census, 2010, we lost one congressional seat in the state of New York.
That's important. Guys.
It may happen again if we don't have enough people within the state of New York. And by the way, we're losing population in the state of New York. People are moving away from the city. And if that is the case, we might lose another congressional seat if we don't have enough population.
So guys, it goes both ways. It's not like we have the seats and we can lose the seats. We can also gain the seats, a seat, if the population increases. But the only way that we gain that seat is if we prove that the population has increased. And how do we do that? By registering.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the ICE and people that might be afraid to go to certain places, because they might be afraid that the ICE might be there. And well, it's true.
It is true, and it's unfortunate that that's going on right now. However, don't be afraid. You're going to get the information via mail, and you can register either via mail or you can register online. Even with your cell phone, you'll be able to register. So you don't have to be afraid. And we're going to be doing it, my association, our organization, together with St. Peter, we're going to be registering people there. So if you trust the church, which I believe you do, so come to St. Peter, especially tomorrow. We have this great event where we're going to get more information about the census, and people can just get more familiar with what's going on in the area.
So tomorrow at 4 o'clock, St. Peter's Church on Riverdale. Is it the corner of Riverdale and what?
And Ludlow.
In Ludlow. Agora, this interview is for people, English-speaking people, and Spanish-speaking people. Solo vamos a hacer un poquito ahorita en español.
Perfecto.
Okay? Wilson, ¿cuál es la importancia del census? ¿Y por qué que nuestra gente latina debe ir y registrarse para el census?
Bueno, la importancia del censo es que nosotros, si no nos registramos, no nos van a contar. Si no nos cuentan, no nos van a dar los recursos necesarios para que nuestra ciudad continúe funcionando. ¿Qué significa? Que si usted no se registra, la ciudad de Yonkers, por ejemplo, pierde esa cantidad de dinero que se debe traer a la comunidad. Y, más importante todavía, que si no nos registramos, podemos perder asientos en el Congreso, o el Senado, o en el Estado de Nueva York. O sea que no sería bueno perder esas sillas congresionales, porque de la forma también de que la perdemos, podemos recuperar más. Pero en el 2010, como dije anteriormente en inglés, nosotros perdimos una silla congresional. Y se siente que si no nos registramos lo suficiente, podemos perder otra silla congresional. ¿Qué significa eso? Que nos van a dar menos dinero, menos recursos. Vamos a tener menos personas que puedan pelear por nosotros en el gobierno.
Y si nos dan menos dinero, ¿qué va a pasar? Tenemos menos programas sociales.
Correcto.
Las escuelas tienen menos dinero para programas que van a beneficiar a sus niños, a ustedes. De manera que hay que registrarse. Y no tengan miedo de la inmigración, no van a estar allá. Es de una iglesia, un sitio seguro, y todo el mundo debe registrarse. Es extremadamente importante.
Correcto.
Extremadamente.
Es importante registrarse. Tienen que tener idea ya lo que dijo Rose, que si no, los niños de ustedes no van a tener mejor escuela, no van a tener mejor seguro social, no van a tener calles más limpias, o sea, menos representaciones. O sea, la importancia del censo es crucial. Y no tengan miedo, que la iglesia San Peter va a trabajar fuertemente en eso. Yo entiendo que ustedes tienen confianza en la iglesia. Pueden venir ante nosotros vamos a estar registrándolo, aquellas personas que no puedan registrarse a través del correo, pero también del correo electrónico, que es importante. Usted lo puede hacer de su celular, una computadora en su casa. Si no puede hacerlo, San Peter, la Iglesia Católica, vamos a estar ahí con la Asociación Cultural Dominicana de Yonkers, ayudándole sábado y domingo, a partir de marzo, de la segunda semana ahora de este mes, que empieza a enviarles por correo. Le van a enviar primero la planilla por escrito y luego ya ustedes pueden tener acceso en línea también.
En otras palabras, no en otras palabras, pero adicionando a lo que el señor Wilson Terrero acaba de decir, nosotros en Yonkers siempre hablamos que las escuelas no tienen esto, que las escuelas no tienen aquel, necesitamos más de esto, necesitamos más de eso. Para tener esas cosas, censo es muy importante. Regístrese. Now, is anything else? Oh, in English. Now we need to say this. Guys, in English. So, census is extremely important. The same way we can lose representation, we can gain representation. And to gain, we need to have people registering the census to show that our population has increased. If we don't, and we think that our registration don't matter, we will lose as we did a year or so ago, correct?
Correct.
So make sure you go and register. Now, Wilson, is there anything else we need to add about the census?
Well, I just wanted to inform you that the census is still hiring people. And the highest salary is $27.50. So I suggest, and hopefully that you go online, register for a job. Tomorrow, we're going to have a presentation from the census and from the City of Yonkers as well. So we hope that you can show up there, whether you speak Spanish or not. The seminar will be in Spanish because it's going to be very informative to the Hispanic community. But also it will be information in English, of course, for some of you who want to come over and get that information as well. So they're hiring people. I hope that you register because this community in Southwest Yonkers is very vulnerable. Vulnerable in the fact that not many people, the last census did not want to register. It was really a tough job to do. And people move around a lot in the city of Yonkers, so especially in Southwest Yonkers. So we need to capture those new people and make sure that they understand the importance of the census so they can get registered.
Let me go in Spanish now. Guys, the census is a hiring person. Oh, estaba hablando inglés. Okay. Los censos están dando trabajo a mucha gente. El salario empieza con ¿qué? 27
de 27 a 50.
27.
Es el más alto, es el salario más alto.
27.50, eso
Por
es
hora.
el salario más alto por hora. Necesita gente, pero para conseguir ese trabajo tienen que registrarse.
Correcto.
¿Y a dónde se registran?
Pueden ir online a census2020.gov.
Actually, espérate, es www.2020census.gov.
Yeah. Pueden registrarse, pueden ir allá, ahí están las aplicaciones, están en inglés, español, en cualquier lenguaje que ustedes deseen. Regístrense, vamos a trabajar en el censo, es importante, porque usted va trabajando en su propia área, lo ponen a trabajar, a hablarle a las personas que ustedes conocen, que se encuentran más familiares, a las personas que ustedes van a la iglesia, que van a la escuela, con sus hijos, que sus hijos van a la escuela. O sea que es importante implorar que al mismo tiempo que están haciendo una labor comunitaria, también están siendo empleadas por el gobierno.
Anything else about census?
Basically, I just want to hope that everybody register and don't take it for granted. Not just that the Hispanic or minority community doesn't register. There are other communities within the margin that doesn't do registration. They don't like to register sometimes. They don't have the time, but please find the time to register wherever you live, whoever you are. Make sure that the City of Yonkers population be counted accurately. I'm going to make my effort for free, voluntarily, because I understand how important that is. I've done it in the past. I will do it this time around again. And please don't be afraid. ICE is not going to go to your home. You're not going to be, arrested or put in jail for that. So just do it. Register your kids. That's very important. Everyone in the household should be registered. And let's get going.
We need to know everyone who lives in each household. Necesitamos saber los números de residentes, de personas en cada apartamento. No tenga miedo. Yo entiendo que muchos apartamentos tienen más gente que está en el lease, pero eso no va a ir al landlord, no va a ir a ningún sitio. Eso es nada más para el propósito de census, para saber cuánta gente vive en nuestra ciudad.
Correcto.
Right?
Correcto, es muy importante, porque de eso dependen los fondos que vamos a recibir nuevamente. Recuerda que tenemos, especialmente en la comunidad latina, aquí en Yonkers, nosotros tenemos casi los 27,000 estudiantes en las escuelas públicas de Yonkers. Casi el 60% son latinos. O sea que para nosotros debe ser de urgencia registrarnos en el censo para obtener más fondos para nuestras escuelas. Y también para los seguros médicos que tanto necesitamos. Es muy importante eso. Los servicios que necesitamos en la ciudad. Así que vamos a registrar, no tengan miedo, que no lo van a buscar preso por eso. Nadie va a tener acceso a esa información, ni el presidente va a tener acceso a esa información. Él trató de hacer algunas cosas, algunos trucos, como decimos nosotros en español, pero no le van a dar resultado, porque eso es muy separado de todo lo que tiene que ver con el gobierno y es muy confidencial. Así que no tengan miedo, vengan mañana si ustedes pueden a tomar más información a la iglesia de San Pedro, que vamos a estar ahí de las 4 a las 6 de la tarde, dándole informaciones importantes de cómo ustedes también pueden hablarle a sus vecinos y familiares para que se registren. Y además de todo también para que tomen la oportunidad y si ustedes quieren trabajar en el censo también se registren para trabajar y hagan esa labor comunitaria y a la misma vez van a estar empleados por el gobierno y haciendo dinero, que eso es muy importante también.
La iglesia San Peter, Riverdale and Ludlow, right at the corner, 4 p.m. tomorrow. But now we're done with the census, correct?
Thank you for that.
All right, now we're going to move. Since I have you here, okay, I always have one more thing to ask.
All right.
So since Mr. Wilson is here, let's just move into something else. Let's talk about the Dominican Cultural Association, where Mr. Wilson is the founder and the chairman. I want to point that out that this association does a lot of things that probably you don't know. Helps the people with citizenship papers, green card applications.
Correct.
Okay, helps the community in many more ways that you can imagine. So, Mr. Wilson, let's tell them about that. Because I know that you have events at the Portuguese Center, Mount Vernon, and many other places.
Yes, so we've been doing citizenship for the last, since I remember, with the organization for the last 15 years. I do it myself. It's free to the community. Some of you may qualify for the waiver, which you don't have to pay the $725. That is the fees that the government requests. And we do the classes as well. We teach the class for those who want to get ready for the test. And we've been doing it. We're doing it in our center. It's at 150 River Avenue, Yonkers, New York, Suite 100. Our telephone number is 914-920-0226. If you want to get in touch with us as well by email, is acdy2003@gmail.com. So we open also, not just doing citizenship, we also helping the seniors with art and craft. We have also the after school program from 8 years old to 14 years old, also in after craft. So we do it 2 days. It's being expanded because it's too many kids. We also have a dance group, which is extraordinarily beautiful. This kid dancing and learning how to dance, many different, music in other communities, folklore dance as well. So, we do the scholarship drive as well.
Mm-hmm.
We gave scholarship to 4 kids every year, and from the Yonkers Public School, those who are about to graduate or are about to go to college, those senior students, grade students, we give 4 scholarship, $1,000 each. Very helpful to them and to their families. So we're very involved in the community. We've been doing it for 18 years. We're going to have another citizenship drive Saturday the 28th from 10 all the way to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. For more information, please get in touch with our BI mail or call our phone so I can send you more information. What do you need to bring with you so we don't waste too much time in order to prepare that. I do it at 45 minutes. I can do that for you, maybe less if you have all the information with you. Also the 21st, I'm going to be at the Portuguese Community Center here in Yonkers, also doing citizenship as well on Saturday from 10 all the way to 4 o'clock. So those people interested, just call us. Make sure you show up with the right information so we'll be able to help you.
Mr. Wilson, I have a question, and the person, private question, and asking me not to name, wants to be asked anonymously. The person is asking, how many years do you have to be the holder of a green card in order to become a citizen? Hold on. She always says that there is 2 different types of citizenships. There is one, you're holding a regular green card for, I think, 5 years. And there is another one that if you are married to a citizen of United States. I think there is 2 different time frames. Can you just tell that to the...
If you're married to a U.S. citizen, you only need 3 years. And you can start doing the paperwork 2 or 3 months before
The completion
of the 3 years. Okay. Also when the 5 years period as well, with your resident card. It has to be the resident card. Since the moment the residence card was given to you.
The permanent, right? Because there is a temporary green card.
But remember that sometimes the temporary one, when they give you the permanent one, it gave you the compounds time.
Okay.
So when you get the permanent one, that's perfect because it gave you the combined time, sometimes 2 years, 3 years. It put it on top of that and says the time that we were resident. So it doesn't matter, it's not going to change. As long as you have the permanent one, that's the one you use. For those who have the expiration day 3 months before your green card expire, you can do your citizenship as well. You can apply for it before expire. So it's good to do it before expire, so you don't have any issue with the United States immigration.
Okay, good information, things that you need to know. Now, if somebody wants to reach out to you, do you have a website or a social page where people can actually, contact you, ask for questions, or to find out where future events are taking place and where?
So you can contact us at ACDY Yonkers on Facebook. That's an easy one, ACDY Yonkers, which means Asociación Cultural Dominicana Yonkers, which is in Spanish, but it's the Dominican Cultural Association of Yonkers. So ACDY Yonkers on Facebook. Our email is acdy2003@gmail.com. Our number is 914-920-0226. You can contact us right there. We'll answer you right away. We forward you the information you need. So hopefully reach out to us. It's free, I don't charge, but it's good to have the paperwork the same day, so I'll be able to do it. You don't have to go back and forth. We can just do it quickly and it's free, so take advantage of that.
So, la persona que me mandó la pregunta acerca de la ciudadanía me dice en español, creo que no habla inglés. Sí, mira, si estás casada con un ciudadano americano y casada por 3 años, ya puedes meter los papeles para la ciudadanía. Si nada más tienes el green card, permanent, son 5 años. 2 meses antes de cumplir la fecha de 3 años, o 2 meses antes de cumplir la fecha de 5 años, ya puedes iniciar
El proceso.
el proceso. Manera que ya sabes contactar con el señor Wilson, o vas a los eventos a donde está el señor Wilson, preguntar. Pero es importante tener todos los papeles listos. Así cuando vayas a verlo, ya tienes todo, allá mismo lo puedes hacer todo y mandar. En vez de ir allá, saber lo que necesitas, regresar a la casa, colectar los papeles y regresar.
Sí, muy
Muy importante. En español, Wilson,
Sí.
¿a dónde, cuándo y cómo pueden entrar en contacto contigo?
Bueno, tenemos el teléfono de la Asociación Cultural Dominicana Yonkers, es el 914-920-0226. También nos pueden contactar vía email a acdy3@gmail.com. Pero también en Facebook nos pueden contactar vía Messenger a ACDY Yonkers. Ahí nos pueden encontrar, se pueden hacer miembros de la asociación y ahí les podemos mandar la información a través de Messenger también. Si nos hacen llegar su número de teléfono vía texto o WhatsApp, le mandamos la lista de las cosas que ustedes necesitan. Es importante porque, como dijo Rose, en 5 años de residente se pueden empezar el proceso. 2 meses antes de cumplirse los 5 años. También, si están casados con un ciudadano, solamente necesitan 3 años. Pueden empezar el proceso 2 meses antes, también para empezar el proceso. Pero recuérdense, tienen que saber inglés, aquella persona que lo van a hacer durante ese transcurso de tiempo. Si lo quieren en español, tienen que tener por lo menos 15 años de residente en Estados Unidos y 55 años de edad para poderlo tener en su lenguaje preferido.
Well, guys, we're going to conclude our interview, but I want to just point it out that Mr. Wilson is the founder and chairman of the Dominican Cultural Association. But don't be misled by the name Dominican. He helps the entire Latino community, and I'm sure even if you're not Latino, but you go to Mr. Wilson, he will help you out. So regardless if you're Mexican, if you Salvador, Nicaragua, whatever, the Dominican Cultural Association is an association dedicated to help anyone of Latin background. Anyone. Forget about the Latin background. They're dedicated to help anyone who needs help on those fields. So thank you. Wilson, anything else that we need to talk about?
Basically, I just wanted you to be aware of the census. Don't miss that opportunity. And that I would help you to become a citizen if you are not. It's free. Also, if your green card is expired, I also help you with that. I help you with the paperwork. The fees are $450, and that goes to the federal government. So don't miss this opportunity. Please keep your paperwork in order. Some things are happening right now in this atmosphere with this president of ours that we need to be very careful out there, and just keep everything in perspective. You never know what happens. And thank you for listening, and Bruce, thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. We're here to help the community. We're here to keep the community informed, to know where you can go for help, taking care of the things that you need to take care. So voy a hacer esto nada más en español, pero en conexión con la ciudadanía. Pero estoy pensando en español o inglés, porque si estás pensando en naturalizarte americano, necesitas hablar inglés.
Correcto.
Right?
Si no tiene 15 años aquí en Estados Unidos y 55 años de edad, el examen va a ser en inglés.
Una de las cosas necesarias es asimilar a la cultura norteamericana. de manera que aprende el inglés. Va a ver al señor Wilson para que te ayude en el próximo proceso. Ahora déjeme tomar esta oportunidad por decir gracias a Yonkers Library for allowing us to use their space for our interviews that in turn help the community of Yonkers. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Wilson, and
Thank you,
until
Ross.
next time.
Appreciate it.